Howdy, everybody. Welcome on into the cargo bay where it's time for a little bit of hobby talk.
That's right. Hobby talk.
How's it going, BC?
Pretty good. It's been a hot minuto since we've done a little hobby talk.
Ooh, have you ever had hot menudo?
I've only listened to the album, which I think is different than what you're
Oh,
referencing.
probably so. Yeah. I don't know what that is. I have had menudo, the soup that is, I believe, cow stomach. I believe is
What?
the. Yeah, I was my neighbors once were like, come over for breakfast, and I couldn't speak Spanish. They didn't speak much English. And they were like, "Here, eat this. It's good." And I was like, I can tell that there's like a honeycomb texture on it, and I
Uh-huh.
knew like, oh, this is some sort of organ that I'm not used to eating, but I can't, So I ate it. It tastes good. It tastes like just tastes like a big noodle to me, except that I
Right.
knew and eventually was like, I think this is stomach. That's what
Your
it is. It's a
brain
very popular, food dish.
your brain was sort of processing, it was giving some blockage into what the taste receptors were feeling. You're like, this tastes good, but my brain is saying I shouldn't like this.
Yeah, it's a problem that I have. I accidentally got the wrong order once and got, like lengua tacos, like tongue
Hmm.
tacos.
Yep.
And my first bite was like, man, this is good. Why is this so good? And then when I looked at the meat and could immediately tell that it was a tongue that
Tongue.
I was
Yeah.
eating, I was like, oh man, this stinks. That my brain is preventing me from enjoying this food that is, you know.
that is a bummer, and I think I've got the exact same sort of mental blocks where, like, if I know it's something that would like give me the GBs, I'm like, this tastes bad now.
Yeah.
But like 2 seconds, I was like, this tastes fine, and then someone's like, no, you're eating tongue. I'm like, never mind, I can't eat tongue.
Yeah, what's the deal with that, man? Because I'm all
Come
for if
on,
you're gonna eat an animal, you should eat the whole dang thing.
that's right,
Um,
tip to tail,
yeah, that's what I
the
was gonna
hooves.
say.
Eat
Exactly
the
that phrase.
eat,
No change on it at all.
eat the hooves, eat the
Yeah.
kneecaps. You get all of it.
We should open up a kneecap barbecue. That'd be pretty good.
I think it'd be pretty good. It'd be almost as good as we are at talking about top Star Wars trading
Oh
cards, which
boy!
is why I assume most people are actually here.
Nobody's
Uh,
here anymore.
that's true. That's true. Our long dormant channel. So if you are here, welcome back. If you're new here, sometimes we talk about eating tongues,
Mhm.
so that's something you can look forward to in the future. But yeah, we get a little throwback, a little classic hobby talk going on here. Talk a little, maybe some one of our the best sets, some of our favorite sets of all time. We can of course take a look at what Topps is up to, some recent sales. See what the cargo babies are saying and asking out there. Just a classic hobby talk.
Well, I'm excited about it, BC. We get right into what's at the
Let's
top of the docket?
let's get to it.
All right. Well, I hit the slide advance button and it didn't work. So let me try this. Oh yeah, like and subscribe. All right.
If
Did I
you're
say
interested in,
subscribe or did I say something weird?
you said like and subscribe.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, no, you did it right.
All right.
Yeah, smash the like and subscribe for all of your top Star Wars trading card needs, and also tip to tail tongue talk. We have got this. This came directly from a DM that we got on Instagram,
Love
which
it.
uh, the cargo bay is not active on. My fault. Um, but there's an account there, and you can reach out to us. I do
Yeah.
check it. I had someone reach out for a couple things, but one they said, what are you like your top five sets? As the cargo bay, what do you view as a top five sets? Now, I think there's a lot of ways you could unpack that. There's value, personal taste, style, design, all sorts of stuff. These were just sort of the first five that came to my mind upon the prompt, and of course, at the top, I cheated in the number one spot, and I cheated with your approval, um,
Yeah. Yeah.
because we're combining all of 1977 Star Wars because among the blue, the orange, the yellow. So the different series, it would have almost consumed our top 5
Yeah,
list. So
and
we
you got to
said,
consider even the green, even though it's kind of the cruddiest of the bunch, just because you got that 3PO in there that I think is crucial to Star Wars
it,
cards.
it transcends Star Wars cards. It has permeated pop culture because erect droids are funny, and
Glad you
that's just
said
all there is to that.
permeated.
Yeah, I don't know the last time I used that word, so just came into my brain just now. But yeah, it has permeated the culture. So yeah, we did, at least I did. I don't want to spoil your list. I combined all of them in my number one spot to say 1977 top Star Wars series 1 through 5. I do want to shout out Edub Rippin Stuff,
As
who is, if you're here on this channel, you probably know who Edub Rippin Stuff is. If you don't, go check out Edub Rippin Stuff channel if you want to see some amazing 1977 top Star Wars content. Just released another PSA return video as he's working towards a full PSA 8 or better collection of series 1 through 5, which is mind blowing and amazing. Always a treat to see those. But yeah, I love that set, those sets, however we want to refer to them. It's currently what I'm working on, a PSA 7 of the series 1 is what my budget allows for me to sort of chase at my own leisure. So that's in my number one spot. Number two, maybe controversial, a direct opposition to the vintage that is in number one. 2021 Chrome Galaxy, baby.
love it.
I had
Love
had
to
to
see it.
include it. It was one that you and I both got excited about early, thanks in large part to my number 4 spot, which is the original Galaxy. Right, I had to include 1993 Galaxy. But I do want to say in the 3 spot, one that we haven't really talked a whole lot about. I think we probably mentioned it a few times.
Yeah.
But 1996 Top Star Wars Finest is just a gem of a product. It's sweet, it's simple, it's to the point, and the base set is 90 cards, baby.
Love
That's
it.
right. 10 binder sleeve pages, perfectly executed, 1 through 90. It is choice. Also, the first time that there are refractors. So this is an exciting sort of historical moment
Yeah.
in trading cards in general, where refractors start to become a thing. So you've got refractor versions of all of the base set cards, which are really cool. And I think most crucially for the 96 finest set is it is weird as hell.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
are like
Very true.
it is 90s EU Star Wars stuff in there, and the backs of the cards have great stuff. The images are fantastic. So I had to include that in my top 5. And rounding out the list in the 5 spot is one that I know that I haven't talked about, but I purchased a full set of this recent, within the last like 6 months or so. This is the 30th anniversary. In the photos, you can see
Oh
a Richard
yeah.
Edlund autograph. It's the best autograph set,
Yeah.
is if
Super
you're a
cool.
Star Wars nerd, because it's got all of the model makers, the Lucasfilm people, like behind the scenes people. John Williams is in the set as a signer. Like, it's a great set, but it's also it's it's sort of like an anthology of Star Wars up to that point. So it's got, the binder pages are broken down, so it's 9 cards per page that cover like one section of something. The next 9 cards cover sort of another section. So it breaks it down by movie, behind the scenes, special effects, stunts. Like, there's a lot of cool breakdowns in it. It's sadly doesn't end evenly at the end of a binder page. They
Ah.
missed the mark by like this
Ah.
much, on the set. Otherwise, it could have been in the 4 or the 3 spot, but they
Yeah.
missed it by that much. But just a really cool set. You can pick up like a completed just like base set of these for super cheap. But the autographs are just cuckoo bonkers. So I
I'm
did
glad
want
you
to
got some
include
auto
that.
representation in your set or in your list rather.
Yeah, because I mean, Star Wars autos are they can be kind of tough. Like I I can't really recommend any set as the like, hey, go out and buy a box for these autos. I would say go and buy the single autos that you want. Um, but yeah, I mean, even with the Chrome Galaxy, you're not going there for the autos in the Chrome Galaxy. You're going there for them parallels, baby.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, and some honorable mentions: season one Mando. Love those. It feels kind of like a classic throwback to clean, simple design for a specific season of a really good season of Mando. 2023 flagship, I really liked a lot.
Yep.
And I just, in general, will shout out all Galaxy sets, paper, chrome, anything that's got original art, I really like.
Yeah, for sure. I was thinking about sketch sets and including sketches in my
Hmm.
list. But I don't know. Not that I don't love sketches and pulling sketches is awesome, but for my list, the odds of me ever pulling a sketch out of any product are low enough that they didn't
Yeah.
super factor into like I'm picking this set because it's
Yeah.
sketch heavy because that hasn't been my experience with Star Wars cards is
No.
that I'm pulling sketch. Although I've pulled a
Yeah.
few, so that's but generally not out of my favorite sets, ever that I've
Yeah.
pulled those sketches out of.
I
So
think what's the is it the Akbar that you've got?
yeah, that was a
That's
Chrome Galaxy.
that one I like a lot.
Yeah,
Um
Base
of
Hindu. That's a
Yeah.
great sketch.
Yes. Yeah, that because it's got the like built-in border that they've drawn on there
Yeah.
too, which I think is super slick.
And all of the cards Space Hindu did for that set have that same border.
Yeah.
So it feels like it's a part of this thing that goes
Very
throughout the
s-
whole Chrome
it's like
Galaxy set.
it's like a specific thing, yeah. I like
Very
that.
cool.
Yep. Well, without further ado, what's on the AB top 5?
Oh, mostly the same stuff as you, BC. um, so I obviously 1977 Star Wars. My favorites are the blues, the yellows, and the oranges, pretty strongly. But I mean, come on, where would we be without it? If I was gonna put anything above it, it would be Star Wars Galaxy in 1993, because I think that's an incredibly unique product. Period. The end. I think it's you can make the argument that it's even more important to modern Star Wars cards that happened.
Mhm.
But the 77s, they're the best, and it's really cool. I mean, it's hard to beat something from 77 too. It's getting to be a long way away now. You know,
We're
they feel like history more than something that came out in '93 to me.
close to 50 years. We're really close to it being 50 years of since the release of the movie, which is crazy to think about. I'm imagining Tops is going to do and Tops and Lego and Lucasfilm and
Oh man.
everything is going to have a 50th stamp across it,
Uh
you
huh.
know?
Yeah. Well, I can't
Um,
wait to see what weird gaudy stamps we get on our cards for a year.
oh, oh boy, what a treat that's going to be. And to see what all we can buy
Uh,
uh, with the 50th anniversary stamp on it. But uh, yeah, it's vintage. It's historic.
Yeah, and they're beautiful. They're great cards. It's great to imagine getting those from the drugstore or whatever. Even if I didn't have that experience, I feel that when I'm holding those cards. Uh,
Oh, let's a quick plug to our dormant set guides that we used to do.
oh yeah,
Um, Go check out our set guides. It's a pretty fun and comprehensive overview of
it's
the
the best thing
original.
we've done on the channel. Is
I
our
think it
set
probably
guide.
is. I
Yeah,
think it is. So
unless you count American talkers.
yeah, that's really good. That's the most fun I have.
uh,
Is American Talkers, but yeah, shout out to our set guides.
yeah, check those out. Uh, Star Wars Galaxy Series 3. I mean, this is kind of a Return of the King, getting all the Oscars situation where, like 90. the first Galaxy set deserves all the credit. I'm picking Series 3 because it has the LucasArts inserts.
Oh yeah.
And that's what does it for me, making 3 my favorite of those paper sets. And
Mm.
then I'm throwing in a set I don't have a lot of, but the 2012 Galactic Files is just so huge. They have numbered cards. They're like the old dot matrix printed
Yeah, they
cards
are.
looking thing, but they're numbered parallels with that foil border, and just the amount of artwork they've pulled from everywhere to have this massive EU encyclopedia. It's a character set. There are vehicles in it as a subset. It's just imagining having a full binder of that is like, man, that'd be pretty cool. And I like the design.
Have you? Are there full sets that are even out there? It's what is it like 300,
It's
400
it's
cards
over
something?
300 cards. I can't remember how big it
Ooh.
is. There was on eBay
Ooh.
for a while a full red parallel set, which was
Jesus.
every card of 50.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
that's pretty insane. Because I mean, it's these. This comes from a period in time where nobody cared about
Right.
these cards. So like
Yeah, totally.
the parallels are in bad shape. A lot of them. I
Right.
picked up a lot of the expanded universe blue parallels.
Mm.
Some of the key characters, like this Darth Nihilus, I wasn't able to get a Darth Nihilus.
God, that card is sick.
Yeah, there's some really cool Sith lords from
Yeah.
the EU that look really good, and they look even better in the red foil, maybe.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it's a cool set. It's got info on the back. Love it. And then
Yeah, I do love the parallel numbering on the back because I picked up a couple of Obi-Wan Kenobis
yeah,
a while ago. They're numbered to like 350 or something. You're
yeah,
like,
the blues are
this is a
350. I think.
this is like a dot matrix. They just next.
Yeah.
Like,
It's sideways
not
completely.
not not quite the stamping technology that we've
No.
got to with the parallel numbering
But
today.
the foil parallel is nice though. It's that
Yeah.
is that blue border on that card is a foil, and the bases are silver. There's the 350s are blue, and then there's the 50s are red, I think. If it's not 25, I can't remember. And maybe there's a gold. I can't remember. It's out of my price range at this point, but
Yeah.
kind of a cool thing that existed. I love everything that's got EU stuff in it. 2021 Chrome Galaxy, that's the set that I have collected most heavily. I would put it
Hmm.
higher on this list, except for giving early Galaxy its due, I guess. But
Yeah.
that's always going to be the set that I have the most of, and that's
Right.
kind of that's when I fell hot and heavy in love with Star Wars
Ooh,
trading
baby.
cards. BC,
Ooh, baby.
probably the peak of my collecting goes there.
Because you were like because you were a little more flush in the cash department than I was whenever this came out.
Yeah.
So, like, I spent all of my money to get the boxes that I got, and I was like, "Well, that's it." And you were like, "I'm gonna go and stealthily buy all of the best parallels before these skyrocket." And you have like a treasure trove of these that I think you haven't even told me about some of them that are hidden away.
I think you're aware of most of them that I
Yeah,
have, but
yeah.
I do have a huge number, and the biggest reason behind that is one, I did have more money than I will have for a very long time if I ever have a job, that's steady and paying me well. But anyway, I got that purple Kurosawa and sold
Hmm.
it for
Yeah.
hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and I spent a lot of that money back on cheaper
Put it back
parallels,
into
yeah, that I
yeah,
really
yeah.
wanted. Um, so yeah, I had to sell some of those because of financial hardship recently,
Mhm.
but I didn't have to sell everything. I've still got a massive collection, mostly because I really didn't want to get rid of those things.
I like that we've both been in financial spots in our lives where like, well, I can sell some Star Wars cards, make a
Yeah.
little scratch.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, when you're a blaster boy like us, sometimes having some of these things is nice because then you can sell them so you can buy groceries and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, That was part of my hope with buying those cards. Is I didn't think that the prices I was paying when I was paying those prices, I thought they would hold for a long time, and that was mostly true.
Yeah.
So. I mean, I haven't bought a Star Wars card in months and months and months at this point, BC, and it
Mhm.
honestly it may be a very long time before I do with any regularity, because the financial situation has changed, and the way that I am living currently, I got to worry about taxes and all sorts of things that
Mhm, mhm,
I'm gonna be
mhm.
much tighter on my pocketbook
I mean,
for a long time. So,
uh,
but I'm glad I have the collection that I have.
yeah, it's it because I'm to a point now where it's like I'm not what I'm collecting or what I'm buying. I'm mostly trying to like trade into, or if I'm buying something, something is leaving the house to help fund
Right.
the purchase. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm trying to get it to a balanced, almost like zero cost in my mind. Of like, if I'm gonna be getting Star Wars cards, like because right now it's the 77s in the PSA sevens, which 15 to 20 bucks a pop, 25 depending, whatever, depending on the card. It's like I can pick up a few at a time, but it's like if I'm going to do that, I'm being relatively disciplined, being like I'm going to move some of this stuff, that I'm not actively collecting or that I just have that's kind of cool but doesn't really fit into like a I'm going to be holding on to this for a long time. Like I'm okay moving some of that stuff out to be like let's focus the collecting and not just be like a hoarder of cards that I look at
Once a
every
year,
once in a while. Yeah,
if
exactly.
ever.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah, I feel that. I mean, I kind of expected, knowing that I'm not going to be motivated. Because a lot of what went into me buying Star Wars cards was having a job that paid me decently and being completely unhappy with with life otherwise, and using the hobby as retail therapy, and also like,
Yeah,
oh, I'm investing, which in some ways was true.
yeah.
But I've been impressed with how dire things got, how little I sold, that I was keeping
You're like
myself just floating before I got
diamond
rid of.
hands, baby. This
Yeah.
isn't going anywhere.
It's not like I expected to appreciate in value.
Right. Yeah.
I do have a relatively small collection that I just really like those dumb cards, Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think anybody wants these cards that I have on my shelf over here, but I want them. And I
Yeah.
want them in that specific number. Okay?
It's curated for a reason. Exactly.
And to finish out my list, 1996 Finest, fantastic set, great stuff. Again, EU 90s Star Wars, that's the favorite for me. But honorable mentions: Mando season 1, Flagship. I mean, there's just nothing like Flagship that's that cheap,
Yeah.
and that
It's
kind of
even
fun.
cheaper now. You
Yeah,
can you can get it for cheaper now.
I love it.
Yeah.
I hope it stays that way. I hope in 10 years I can go buy some Flagship. Uh, And 206, I think, is
Oh,
worth a
yeah.
mention. Great
Yeah.
stuff. Vehicles, Star Wars 1997 vehicles.
I'm a little surprised vehicles wasn't in the top 5. You were on the vehicles train early.
I love vehicles, but I do feel like the one thing holding it back is the print quality of the
Mm,
cards. I mean, they're fantastic and they look
foil.
really, really cool. They're just a little dark. If they were just a
Yeah.
little brighter, they'd be in my top 5. Definitely in my top 10.
There's a
Uh,
great Thrawn card in the
yep.
vehicle set. You got an early Thrawn, which is in there. It's a good set.
Yeah.
Oft overlooked, the vehicle set. We've always said.
And I like the 2004 Clone Wars a lot,
Oh yeah, yeah,
mostly
yeah, yeah.
because I love that show. But there are some really cool things in that set. I feel like I would put Living Set in here. I wanted to put Living Set in here, except
It's impressive.
it's not even the FOMO of it. It's just I guess FOMO is the wrong word, but it's just so expansive at this point, and I'm so late on the
Right,
bandwagon. As much as I
right,
appreciate it for what it is, it will never have that special place to me because I'm just gonna be cherry picking a card here or there,
right.
which is nice to do.
Yep.
But there will always be a part of my heart that's mad I can't have it all.
I know. Yeah, we'll get to the latest release from Living Set here in just a few slides, everybody. So hold on to your britches.
Oh
Uh,
boy.
but but before we go there, thanks for sharing your top 5. before we go there, we've got from the DMs in the collector's corner, which kind of I think bleeds into some of what we've been talking about. This was again sent to the dormant Instagram account. That if you send a message, I'll check it. I'll read it.
Eventually.
Eventually, I'll get there. I don't post anything in there anymore, but Maddie said, "Hey guys, new to your Cargo Bay channel. Awesome stuff. Great work. Thanks, Maddie. Just wanted
Thank
some
you.
advice. Looking to purchase a Star Wars hobby box of some sort. Price obviously plays a role, but also design and fun. What would you suggest to look at? The Chrome Galaxy stuff looks awesome. Have watched a few videos of yours. 21 seems a bit pricey. Are the 22 and 23 boxes worth it? And which one to choose? Or should I be looking at older stuff? Or wait for 24 Chrome Galaxy? Any advice would be much appreciated." Uh, Hobby box advice. Well, I'll kick it over to you. What do you think?
21 is just too pricey.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just too much of a gamble. I opened way too many boxes of that. I can't remember how many. But when it was new and it was much cheaper than it is now, I
Yeah.
wish I would have just sat on those boxes because some of them are loaded and you got cool stuff in there, but there's also
Yeah.
a fair amount of cards that aren't that cool that you might wind up with a stinker parallel. And some of those
Yep.
boxes don't have you're not guaranteed numbered parallels. What you're guaranteed is an autograph, which is going to be a stinker 95% of the time.
Speaking of stinkers, didn't Edub open the
Yes.
2021 and got the Skunksville?
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. It was painful because there wasn't any
Oh.
gold in that box, so I would say watch that video
Yeah.
just to see what you might experience, which is a box that doesn't have a lot of parallels. And
And
also,
it's oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to shout out, watch Edub's channel because I haven't watched the most recent Edub's return yet because those videos are in 4K, BC. They're in 4K, which means I'm waiting for a time where I can sit down in front of my TV and
Yeah.
you really get a sense of what a card is like more than I've
Yeah.
ever gotten browsing on
It's
eBay or
oh,
whatever.
yeah.
So anyway, yeah, it's a good way to check out a box of Chrome. So and
Yeah.
see what you might get if you don't get something amazing. Sadly,
Yeah.
sorry, Dubs.
I mean,
It was painful too
yeah.
because I think that one of the two parallels was an Ewok insert. It was like a from the Ewok TV show. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. That's it's sad, but for the price, the skunk potential on 21 and just the scarcity of finding it, like it's too pricey for me to ever recommend opening that stuff now. Go buy parallels of what you want. Go pick specific cards of what you want for that.
but I mean,
I
it's
was
all about your budget, right?
it's
If you
budget.
want the
Totally.
experience, it is a heck of a gamble,
It's
baby.
a, it is a
It's a
fun. It's
rush.
fun.
It's a
It
rush
is
to open
fun.
that box.
It is fun. I will say that. Now I didn't personally open any 22 Chrome Galaxy, but I will say I don't like the borders
Yeah,
on it.
yeah.
So between and it's more expensive than 23, so I'd say if you're set on a Galaxy box, open 23 or wait until 24 comes out. That's just my personal recommendation. I would also say flagship is just an amazing cheap rip um,
Yeah.
for what that is. Older boxes can be expensive and hard to come by. You know what I mean? So it's like in terms of design, you know, I say look at singles of what's out there, kind of gauge what it is that you might even be hunting for or looking for. But um, I don't know. I always have a hard time recommending a hobby box rip without knowing the budget, right? Because
Yeah.
it's entirely budget dependent for me on what I'm going to be ripping.
For my money, if I was picking one of these three boxes, I would choose the 2023, because there's a lot more color to pull out.
Yeah,
You're you're not gonna as likely to pull something incredible out of there, but Galaxy 23 is gonna spit a lot of color out at you for less money, and you might get a worthless color parallel of a very cool card out of that
yeah, and
box.
I like that they did away. You're going to get a guaranteed autograph of drummer or some other character that you have 1,000 of their autographs. Sonara-san from Resistance. I have 3 of her autographs. I've never seen Resistance. I don't care. It's whatever. Like, it's cool that I've pulled them, but it's like, as a guaranteed autograph, it's like, I'd rather just have like parallels, honestly, if that's what I'm going to be chasing out of this as opposed to a $5 autograph. So I think it's cool that they do the guaranteed parallels in the 23 box.
Yeah, my favorite exercise when buying a box is taking the box price, going to eBay, finding the coolest card I can imagine for that entire box price, and being like,
Right.
am I gonna pull anything out of this box that's cooler than this very expensive single?
Right.
Or would I be happier having this very expensive single that's going to be a highlight of my collection for sure, you know, when it comes in the mail?
And at the end of the day, I'm always going to always say, give me that one card. But also, there's a degenerate that lives inside of me that's, don't you want to rip them packies? See if you can get you a super fracty?
I mean, that's we got into this for ripping the packies, BC. But I am fast. I don't know. I think it's. I
the
guess just because it's going to be a long road for me getting to a place where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm back on track to like save for my future and stuff. Like so, I'm think I'm looking at a long road of maybe I got a $10 card budget this month, and that means even if my income increased, twofold, I might still be there for cards because
yeah.
I went through a long period of financial hardship for the first time in a long time, which has reset my my urge to open packs a little bit. I guess is what I'm
Totally.
saying for maybe years to come.
No, it's hey, we tell it like it is here on the Cargo Bay. If you were watching this channel, which I don't think anybody was a couple years ago when we were producing videos for nobody, I was in the exact same position where, well, I sure hope I can afford to do this with most of the collecting things that I did as I was, watching you engage with, collecting more. It's like, just waiting to have some disposable income again.
Yeah.
It was, which is always nice when you can go out and get that $10 green foil card that you need to complete your 23 flagship and/or set.
And
I'm closing in on it.
that's my favorite kind of collecting is building a cheap single set like that, BC.
Yeah.
That's become my favorite. But I will say, you take that $250 or whatever is the box price for these very expensive boxes, you turn that into one card, that's going to be the card that's easy to move when you need to get a little bit of that money back, to get 75% of that money back or whatever fast.
Because my thing is now, and I'm trying to thin down some of the stuff, is like, I just got a lot of shit I don't care about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just a lot of cardboard. It's like, yeah, some of this is cool, but it's like, if I'm not going to complete the set, if I'm not going to put it in a binder, it's just going to be in a box, and then someone's going to have to throw it away when I'm dead. So it's like, what's the point? You know what I mean?
There'll be a lot of landfill paper
Yeah.
coming out of Star Wars sets.
Yeah.
As much as I love flagship, there's going to be a lot of that in landfills. And the planet is dying or whatever. BC, do you have may I be obnoxious and ask you to not click that pen? I say that because I just picked up a pen and clicked it. I've been meaning
Yep.
to mention
Yep.
our microphones are ticking.
Sorry about that.
Well, I don't know if that's any help at all, Maddie. But enjoy. Try to do something that you're gonna enjoy, I guess, which is different for everybody, of course.
Here's the best piece of advice: stay on budget,
Stay on budget.
Stay on budget, and you'll be good. You'll be fine.
Don't get swept up in the craze.
Don't get swept up in the fever.
It's easy for me to get swept up on those $10 chases, even, or it used to be like, oh man, I gotta get all 20 of these. They're only $5, and it's like, that's $100, and plus shipping, that's $150. That's a lot of meals.
See, that's my thing too. It's like, there's a lot of listings for cards where I could buy it now and have it, but it's listed above what I'm comfortable paying. So it's like, if I'm patient, I'll get it for the price that I want eventually.
Maybe the whole
Like
bubble will collapse and we can just get everything for free.
freebies. I'll trade my valueless cards for your valueless cards, and then we'll just live in that sort of society.
Good.
Right?
All right. Well, thank you very much for that kind message, Maddie. Hope you find some good Galaxy out there. Notable sales, BC.
Well, just a couple notable sales since we last spoke. The rare Pedro Pascal auto appearing in the wild. A beautiful on-card auto from Pedro Pascal in a pristine green parallel. 37 bids went for over $5,000. That's a lot of cheddar.
Yeah.
These do not come up very often. So makes sense why it went this high and demand was so high. And then I also included Josh Trout, this artist. He's getting some traction for these masterwork cards that he did, which are amazing. We talked about the Luke Skywalker one that he had done previously. This is a Boba Fett one, and it is super sick.
Yeah, it's rad. Yeah, very cool. Glad Josh Trout is doing well. I mean, I don't know anything about Josh Trout except that these cards are cool, but it's a good idea. Glad it's paying off. Well, hopefully I know this isn't going directly into Josh Trout's pocket probably, but hopefully this will get back to increased sales or whatever in the future.
I know I think the Luke was like an artist proof maybe, so that was one that he was able to sell and make some bank on. But yeah, a lot of bids, a lot of cheddar spent on some Star Wars cards there.
Man, this specific masterwork, I guess masterwork set, or is it a signature series? Stellar.
It's Stellar, yeah.
Anyway, I really wish I had the Werner Herzog from that set. They were much cheaper before Werner Herzog turned into a meme again. Like Werner Herzog prices have gone up, and I think I wish I could, I don't know, rearrange some of my buying in that era to get a Werner from that set. I do have a good Werner, but it's a sticker.
You've got the signature series and it's like the Empire Strikes Back variation.
Yeah,
is that right?
It's like Empire Strikes Back. It's a 1 of 10. It's a great card.
Yeah,
but I just love Werner Herzog so much. I wish I had an on card as well.
I know.
Maybe someday.
Yeah, I remember I was chasing Taika Waititi autos for a while, and it just never materialized for me. I just never could pull the trigger on it, sadly.
I'm glad I got one before prices seemingly are high. I mean, the man put out a book titled "Every Man for Himself and God Against All." Like he's gonna continue to be a legend forever after that.
Werner Herzog's so freaking metal.
Just good stuff. Love it. But yeah, maybe someday, before I ever buy a box of 2021 Galaxy again, I'm gonna get Herzog on card auto. That's a good call. It's one of the only Star Wars autos I really care to have because it's funny.
Yeah.
All right. Throwback Thursdays, BC.
This was as of the time of this recording. This was the prior week's Throwback Thursday, and I gotta say, they stepped it up with this set.
Yeah.
The film title in the bottom, the character name on top. No Naboo.
No homeworld that they're not connected to.
No pretending they're on a baseball team or a football team or a hockey team.
Did they listen to the show, BC?
They must have.
They must have listened to the show.
Papa Topps, you're welcome. I'm sure you're going to sell many more of these. That Darth Maul is in fuego.
I was going to call this the greatest Darth Maul card of all time, but I feel like you got to have the double-bladed lightsaber on the best Darth Maul card of all time. Yeah. But I don't know. It's really... Whew.
Is there a wide vision of him with the double lightsaber?
There's actually a fold out And just
Like if it's a trifold card
trifold
of
wide
him.
vision.
Of It's like it folds in the back, so you fold it out of the front, so it looks like he's popping it
Oh yeah,
as you.
very good. Spring
Tops, you can
loaded.
have that idea too. You can have that one. You want to sell the trifold mall dual bladed lightsaber reveal card? You can have that one.
This is literally, I think we suggested this exactly. Get rid of the homeworld and just put the name of the movie that this image is from. It looks so
Do
much better. These
do
are
almost anything else than what you were doing. You know what I mean? Like,
because I
yeah,
love all of these cards have looked amazing. This is one of
yeah.
the better looking sets. They look a little bit like cigarette packs.
Me too. Yeah,
Makes me want to smoke a little smoky.
have a little lucky
Get
strike.
a little smoke out of that
Have a lucky.
Qui-Gon. Have a death
Listen,
stick out of the Qui-Gon pack.
quick cigarette corner. I haven't smoked a cigarette in probably 10 years at
Nice,
this point.
nice.
Um, but I was in the Walgreens the
Uh-oh.
other day. Well, you know how this starts.
I
You
mean,
go to the Walgreens.
being at Walgreens can be depressing sometimes. So
Oh,
you got
but you go in the Walgreens, you're always checking out, and of course, behind cashier is just a wall of tobacco products. And
uh-huh.
it's like, I remember those days. And then I look, and Lucky Strikes are making a big time
I have
comeback.
noticed that as well.
I'm like, what's going on? I remember having to like go to a specialty tobacco store to get unfiltered Lucky Strike. And
I
now it's like, go to the Walgreens, go to the gas station. They got Luckies?
I think what it must be is that smoking is, a precipitous decline, I would imagine, and that the
I think
people who are
so.
still smoking cigarettes are hipsters who are like, it's cool again. Not really. I mean, it's not like, but it is for people who think they're cool. It's like the
Yeah.
only people who have no fear of dying of awful
Yeah.
diseases smoke
It's like
cigarettes, so they could have an edge.
society has sufficiently shunned public smoking to the point now where it's like, if you're doing it, it is a direct fu
Yeah,
to society. It's like, I don't care. I know it's bad for me. I know it's bad for you.
yeah.
Whatever. You know what I mean? And I get addiction is a horrible thing, and
Uh-huh.
it's a terrible and awful product. But I'd be lying if I said I don't think about it every once in a while.
I I I said recently that the only theme park I really would love to go to is just a series of like 1970s hotel lobbies, and you have to finish
Ooh,
a cigarette in every hotel lobby you walk through.
like a
Like,
cigarette and a drink,
yeah, yeah,
like a
you get a
cigarette and
different
a
cigarette and a
hard
different drink
liquor.
in
Yeah,
every lobby as you go.
I love
Yeah,
that.
wouldn't
My
that be
God,
amazing?
I would pay so much money to do
Like
that.
you have
That's
to
a
wear uncomfortable corduroy. There's like
yeah.
the patterns are garish.
Stuff that like crunches on your
Yeah,
body when you
yeah.
move, and is highly flammable, so it
Yeah.
adds like a level of like danger when you get your death stick.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Most of the staff are firefighters.
They're like, we're really just here for security because we've lost some good people to this particular attraction.
A terrible, terrible idea, but if I die and go to heaven, I imagine that will be one part of it. Uh, it's me being able to enjoy all the terrible things this world
Right,
has to offer that you really shouldn't enjoy ever.
guilt guilt free.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
yeah, totally. If you want to go to the next slide,
Uh,
we've got some more cigarette packs here on Earth for Throwback Thursday. This is this week's release. So we've got Yoda, Anakin, and we got some Shmi love
love it.
here. I like
Yeah.
to see that.
Yeah, the Anakins are candy cigarettes. The
Yeah.
the
Yoda,
Shmees, like you think they're gonna be like whatever the long slim ones are, but no,
yeah,
those are Marbs.
yeah, and Yoda's a menthol because the
Yeah, yeah,
green.
yeah. Yellow teeth, green mint, baby.
Give me a pack of Yodas and give me the Anakins for the kids.
I mean it is wild just to think about like growing up in a time where people smoked in their cars with their children. Uh,
Um,
Luckily, society has shifted away. I guess people vape now. Is that a
yeah,
lot of
they
the
definitely do.
youngsters vape? That
The
can't be good
youngsters
for you.
and people our age too that
Yeah, that's
that
true.
I
That's
see.
true.
Um, but to me, the funniest thing is like there's the non-smoking section on a fucking airplane. You're like, no, it's a smoking airplane. The
Yeah,
entire thing is filled with cigarette smoke.
yeah.
You're like, the non-smoking, the smoking section of the restaurant. Like, I remember that being a thing. And you're like, yeah, we'd prefer to sit in non-smoking. They're like, yeah, we're gonna put you on the booth on the other side of this very flimsy divider. So you're fine. It's like, no, I'm in second-hand like trajectory. Like it's like we should not be doing this indoors for like no, it's fine. You just put them on different sides of the restaurant. It's fine.
That
That's
is.
not how this works.
I mean, this is why I imagine a theme park where you can smoke cigarettes and them not be bad for you. It's just that's how good it must have been. Is that people were
Yeah.
smoking in a Wendy's, like like, and people
You
were still
get damn
going to
right.
the Wendy's because I guess the
Oh yeah.
Wendy's was that good. But I have vague memories of like cigarettes and little tin ashtrays at the Wendy's, and it does seem like a different existence.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like getting this like when I go to because there are a few bars around here where it's like you can still smoke inside at Art's Place. And you're like,
Oh, really?
hell yeah. It's and I'm relatively certain it's where I will be enjoying the Super Bowl this Sunday, so I'll get a nice secondhand high while watching the Super
Okay.
Bowl. It was like those sorts of institutions that are like, you are not gonna take this away from us.
Yeah.
I'm like, I respect it.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
do.
you and I played some shows and smoking
We did
bars,
smoking
and
venues, yeah.
it really did. It felt like felt like a cooler world. Definitely, I don't think it's representative of that in actual actual life, but it seemed
No,
cool. It seemed cool.
it certainly did.
I've been to Vegas and been like, what the hell is going on here? Like, this is nuts. But
Yeah, because
in
you can smoke everywhere
California,
in Vegas, right?
seemingly, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. In California, it is to the point where, like, in Santa Barbara, it's like you can't smoke on the sidewalk. Like, there's one
Yeah.
patio in town at one bar where you can smoke. 'Cause I remember looking up stuff for our wedding, being like, "Sorry, smokers, you will be harassed at least, if not
You
arrested."
cannot.
Yeah, you're gonna
That
have
is
to
a
hold out for a few hours.
public no-go.
If there are children watching, don't
Hey,
consume
don't smoke, kids.
nicotine. You know,
Don't smoke. Hey,
don't vape
kids,
either. I think.
don't vape, don't smoke ciggies, and stay away from 2021 Chrome Galaxy. Your mom and dad can't afford that. You know? Do mom and dad a favor and ask them shit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You
It's better for
find
you.
you'll
It's a
get
good entry
bored.
product. Yeah. Yeah. Just some advice. Just some advice from the cargo bay to you kids out there watching.
Oh man, I do love these cards. Great cards. Good
They look
looking.
great.
I'd like to see the parallels. I'm sure those will look good too. But yeah, way to go, Tops. Glad you changed it.
Yeah.
And here's our living set, BC.
Yeah. We got a Jedi Starfighter and Poe Dameron. A nice living set. Again, I'm just sad that this is something I won't have as just a giant thick binder of every living set card. I missed the boat. I
Yeah,
missed the boat on this, and I will have missed the boat on Throwback Thursdays as well because I just didn't want to keep up with the weekly payments.
yeah.
I think it's like what $15 a week or something for three
Yeah, you
cards.
can get them cheaper on eBay. If it
You
was a
can.
once a month thing, I wonder if they would have more buyers or less. Probably less. You gotta keep things on the weekly rotation to keep people's brains
Yeah.
cooking.
Here, Tops, let me start pitching you some things here real quick. A
Okay, let's hear what you
subscription
say.
service, all right? A subscription service.
Ah,
Okay.
yeah.
So we're all big on subscription services, all right? Now, instead of me paying $15 a week, which I think is insane,
Yeah, yeah.
I I pay you $15 a
A
month.
month, and you get
You
all the throwbacks and all the living set.
bada bing, bada boom. You charge me $15 every month. You send it to me whenever you feel like it. But this weekly stuff, I'm just not about it.
Yeah. I would like to just have all the vehicles because the vehicles are relatively new. You were
Yeah.
kind enough to send me a Walker.
Yeah.
And the first round of vehicles, Invader's Tie.
Oh, I get that Death Star too.
I might have to try to catch up at some point. There should be enough up on eBay that aren't super high priced, but I don't know. Ship might have sailed. How do you feel about this ETA-2 Jedi Starfighter, BC?
I think it looks pretty cool. It's not my all-time favorite Star Wars vehicle, but it's it's a iconic from the prequel era.
I mean, I love the intro to Star Wars Episode 3, but I still, there's part of me that's real mad they took that triangle away from me. The first Jedi Starfighter.
I love it.
Not these
I
little
put I,
flimsy TIE fighter looking things.
I put together the Obi-Wan Kenobi Lego Jedi fighter, and then it was super cheap. But I was like, that's a sharp looking, just arrowhead zipping through space.
Love it.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, well, I guess that's it, BC.
We freaking did it again. Welcome back to the cargo bay. Thanks for joining us. Hey, if you're still here, you are required to leave a thumbs up on this video, just so you know.
Do it for the cigarette talk.
Do it for the cigarette talk. Do it for the tongue top.
Yeah.
Say that 10 times fast. But also just for hanging out, for sticking the duration. I say thumbs up to you, viewer. Leave a comment below if you want to share your personal top 5 all-time sets, and any other thoughts or queries you might have.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us in the cargo bay.
Bye forever. Until next time. And if I can find the button, I'm ready, BC.
Are you ready?
No, I'm not. Dang it. I forgot how this works. Now I'm ready.
Are you sure this time?
I'm positive.
Okay, here I go.
Beautiful.
We did it.